In this lesson, we will discuss how our sensory experiences actually extend beyond the 5 basic senses of sight, hearing, touch, taste, and smell. We will define and discuss proprioceptive and vestibular components of our sensory nervous system and talk about how they relate to both body awareness and balance. We will describe some of the common difficulties experienced by those on the autism spectrum. There are 2 aspects of our sensory nervous system outside of the 5 basic senses of sight, hearing, smell, touch, and taste that may also be impacted in individuals on the autism spectrum. The 2 aspects of our sensory nervous system include proprioception and vestibular types of input. Proprioception is the internal feedback that we get from our muscles and joints. It gives us information about force and pressure, how much resistance there is, the weight of objects, and it's also important in our body awareness. The vestibular components of our sensory nervous system include the internal feedback detected when we move and is primarily based on the position of our head. Our inner ear, as well as our peripheral vision, give us information that's registered in our vestibular system. Our vestibular system is important in helping us with balance and determining where our body is in space. When an individual is experiencing difficulties with their proprioceptive system, they may have problems with judging the amount of force or pressure to apply. For example, they may squeeze something too hard, or they may push too hard, for example, with a pencil on a piece of paper, breaking the lead, or when erasing, tearing the paper. They may demonstrate motor clumsiness, or they may be very awkward. They may have difficulty manipulating small objects. They may have an abnormal body posture, or may seek out input into their muscles and joints more frequently by pushing down on objects or engaging in unusual postures in their seat or chair. They may have a difficult time with motor planning, and they may frequently seek out deep pressure input or joint compressions or joint contractions. Some of the problematic behaviors that may be expressed include squeezing others, pushing or pulling others or objects, dropping, bumping or slamming into things, and certain types of self-injurious behavior, such as biting themselves or hitting themselves, or odd or unusual body postures in desks or chairs, which may create problems in the classroom. Some vestibular difficulties include a high tolerance for certain types of vestibular input. When an individual has a high tolerance for vestibular input, you may see them seeking out intense input such as jumping, spinning, climbing, tipping back in their chairs, swinging or rocking excessively. You might also see an individual with a very low tolerance for certain types of vestibular input. This presents itself as avoidant behaviors. Individuals who have an intolerance for a high degree of vestibular input may avoid certain playground equipment. They may not like to be picked up. They may have difficulties on stairs or any kind of uneven terrain. This type of input may create a fight or flight reaction or response from them. So you may see aggression or other forms of behavior as they attempt to escape and avoid this type of experience or input.